finding these difference of squares, but when they have a GCF, so we have to check and see, does it have a GCF before continuing? So we're just going to do a few more problems, and then you'll have a chance to practice on your own. So starting with number 24, first, can we use difference of squares as good morning. Oh, could we use difference of squares as is 424 right now? Is 45, is 20 a perfect square? Good one. Because it's in this section, the answer to that would be no. So we have to think of something we can divide out of both of these to make it more in the difference of squares section. So let's find some factors of 45, some factors of 20. You may know what that is already. What times what would give us 45? What times? 3 times 15, okay. 95. 45. I don't think there's anything else in that. Okay, and then 20. 20. 10. So, of all of their factors, which one do they share?
5.
5. So we can definitely divide both by 5. Do they have anything else in common? Q. So if we were to divide both of these by 5Q, what would be left?
Uh, 9q squared.
9Q squared. And minus 4. Can we factor that again using either GCF or difference of squares? don't have any perfect squares. We don't have anything we could factor out using PCM. Definitely one of those. We just have to figure out which one. I've heard something, but I didn't hear what you said. The difference is squares, yeah. Because 9 and q squared are both perfect squares, 4 is a perfect square. So if we were to find our new factors, what would they be? What times what gives you 9? 3. What times what gives you q squared? 2. And what times what gives you 4? So we have 3q plus 2 and 3q minus 2. Do you have any questions on that one? For 26, same thing. First, can we start this off by doing difference of squares? Is everything given a perfect square? No, Carter was not. Oh, 26. There is something that's not. A couple things actually. But what's not? 36 is a perfect square. 6 times 6. The b's. Because they're not even. I have b to the third and I have 1b. So we're going to have to factor out a b. But because we're factoring out something, we could also look and see, do they have anything in common that we could divide out? So off to the side, I'm going to go ahead and find our factors of 136 and see what they share. What are some factors of 100? 1 and 100. 10 and 10. 2 and 50. 4 and 25. 1 more, I think. I believe that is all. 1, 2, 4, 5, and that is all. Yeah. And then for 36, what are some factors of 36?
4 and 9.
4 and 9. 6 common. Say that again.
I was going to say that.
Okay, think of a different one. There's 3 others.
36.
1 and 36.
4 times 4.
Not 4, but 3. One more.
2 and 18.
Okay. Not that we really needed some of these because we could start seeing which ones they have in common immediately. But what number do they share? 4. They also share 1, yes. They also share 2, yes, but that's not the highest. So they both share a 4. So when we take out that b, we can also take out the 4. So we're going to divide both terms by 4b. And what would be left when we do that?
B squared.
25b squared. And
Minus 9.
minus 9. Can we do anything else with this? See what the difference of squares again. We have 25, which is a perfect square, b squared, which is a perfect square, and 9. So our new factors would be what? 5.
5b minus 3.
And 5b plus 3. Right. Two more. For 27, are the numbers given perfect squares? Can we start off doing it that way? No? So we, again, have to find what's in common. So remember that while you're practicing, you can use Desmos to help you, but don't rely solely on Desmos because you won't have that on the quiz on the test. Oh, I went fast. So if you have the Desmos graphing calculator on your phone or go to it, 80 and 125, I could put that in Desmos. Go into my keyboard, go into my functions, scroll all the way down. Number theory, look for GCD. Remember the same thing as GCF. It's just common divisor, common factor, same thing. And put in my two numbers, so 80 and 125. It will tell me what that GCF or GCD is without me doing the factor tree. So at home and when you're practicing this, that would be an easier method, but doing the factor tree would also be beneficial because you won't have that on the test. So we know 5 can be taken out of both. Can we take out any variables? N squared, yes. They both share that. So if I'm dividing both of these by 5n squared, what's left? Here you may need to do some math. 16n squared minus 25. Here we can use our difference of squares again. So 5n squared, 4n minus 5, and 4n plus 5. For the last one, 32. What could we divide out of both of those? One m and one n. So if I'm dividing everything by mn, what's left? M squared minus 1. So we can still use our difference of squares. What would our two factors be? M plus 1 and m minus 1. For the remainder of class, you guys have the rest of these problems to work through, as well as the practice problems on the back. Do these ones first. Let me know if you have any questions on those. We'll go over those towards the end of class. You scroll. And then start working on the practice problems if you finish those relatively quickly. Do you have a specific question? You guys. Yesterday. So for number 23, your factors were 2, and then 4s plus 3u, and 4s minus 3u. We did 24. 25 was 6 times 2a plus 3b, 2a minus 3b. We did 26. And 27. We did 8. 8y, x plus 2y, x minus 2y, 29, 9p, 2p plus 1, 2p minus 1, 33, and then n plus 7, n minus 7, 31, 4k, 2k plus 5, and 2k minus 5, and then we did 33. Anyone have any questions on any of those? You guys do have another Delta Math on this and 2 Khan Academies on this. So one is strictly just difference of squares, and the other is difference of squares, and it might have a DCF in it. So work on those. Those Khan Academies are due on Friday. The Delta Math, I think, is due tomorrow. Yes, is also due tomorrow. If you want to come see me after school today or in the morning tomorrow to work through any of those, come do that, and we'll go through those problems together. Also, if you've not finished your Unit 5 tests, come see me to do that. I've almost gotten them all in, and we'll be giving you a copies so you can see your grades and whatnot. Hopefully tomorrow, but if not,